So I wanted to ask if you still do that. You still are able to get the turtle eggs and look after them, or is that something that's not going on right now?
It is going on a little bit less than before, but no, the turtle, especially when the children, when they came to school, they would report to us that they saw the turtle tracks, and we would run there and check where the eggs are before the fishermen do that or any passerby, and actually transfer these eggs to the center, community center, Robinson Island, where we would actually make sure that they are hatching.
Mm.
Care of them.
What this is making me see is that to be able to play a part in conservation, you have to be proactive. It's not just something you wait for people to do and then you join. You have to go and find out what you do and then you do it.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to go around and talk to them. You have to interact with them. Well, my walking and going around becomes less, but then I have scouts for me going around and checking.
Okay, okay. So you were selected as the UN Person of the Year, Kenya, in 2003. And how did this acknowledgement help with your conservation work? Did it help at all?
Wow. Yeah, it did a lot. It helped me a lot. Actually, during this, when I got the award, a lot of people actually started copying what I was doing. They thought, wow, she got an award. Why not us? We can do the same. So a lot of CBOs mushroomed around. And they started doing actually what I was doing. Some of them openly came, they were not proud. Behind my back would come and tell Mama, show us how you're doing it, how we should do it, and teach us. And we would sensitize them. And that my award actually brought a lot of exposure because the UN actually, I had a lot of visitors coming to visit me. I had the UN planting mangroves with me. I had UNESCO planting mangroves with me. I had the universities coming with their deans for me to give them a lecture, and I would go, what, me? Me, I can tell you how to cook or how to plant, but I'm not giving a lecture. The teacher would say, the dean would say, your indigenous knowledge is very much more than what we know. So one day the Moi University came there and I had to lecture these big boys and the deans and everybody, and I was kind of shaky in the beginning, but because I was fluent with what I was doing, I was fluent because what I was talking about is what I'm doing every day. So for me, it was just a recollection of what I was doing every day, and I would tell them. And when they would ask me a question, I'm shaking. Now these guys are asking me a question, they're university students. Will I be able to answer this? And I actually, their question was so simple for me to answer that I thought, wow, so I can be a dean.
Lecturer, yes.
And some of them, they actually told me, you know, you should be given an honorary degree for doing what you are doing. I said, I am so far out from the civilization that nobody knows what I'm doing. But then God can see what we are doing, and that's enough for us. A lot of people come to plant mango with us. Actually, the late Wangari Maathai came after I got the award,
Yeah.
visit down on the ground and
Yeah.
actually patted my shoulder and said, "You're wonderful. You're doing a wonderful job. Go on doing what you're doing. Don't give it up." She was a buddy of mine. I used to visit her in her office in Nairobi and ask for advice and sensitization. And for me, she was an idol, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, good friend and an idol that I really wanted to follow her footsteps.
I think you're already doing that. And for me, Wangari Maathai was also one of the women I would have liked to meet. And when I think of what you do, I would say you are the next Wangari Maathai.
Oh, actually, some of the boys around here call me Wangari Maathai. I said, don't feed me, please. I'll never be even half of it. But tell me that. This is our Mama Wangari Maathai from Malindi.
Yes, yes.
Her name is yeah.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So I have another question. What how do mangroves contribute to the balancing out of the atmosphere?
Well, you mean the carbon?
Yes, yes.
The mangroves can isolate up to 4 times more carbon and the rainforest can, actually. Most of the carbon is stored in the soil beneath the roots, and mangroves absorb a lot of carbon dioxide at an alarming rate, actually, compared to the rainforest, which people think and always talk about rainforest, but the mangroves can do much more than the rainforest can. Unfortunately, we are sad to say that they actually that they cleared 3 football fields of mangrove. You know, a football field 3 times of mangrove every minute. Is it every minute? No, maybe I could be wrong. But that is cleared at an alarming rate, more than it is planted, really.
I also read that it's in the world only 0.7% of forests make up the mangrove. Like you're saying, people make a lot of noise about tropical forests, but actually mangroves are the ones that do a lot of work and would help a bit more, but we keep cutting them down.
Yeah, they keep on cutting them down, and this tree is the one which does a lot to mitigate the climate change. The area of the mangrove along the coastal area, is as big as the Greece. Greece is not so big. Greece is not so big. So you can imagine the whole population. You know, they don't grow where it is snowing. They grow in the tropics.
Yeah.
So the area that measures is as big as Greece. If people are clearing at that alarming rate, then it's
disappearing.
It is a sad affair, and people should really be sensitized about mangroves. They do much more than the forest they protect every day. They should protect the mangroves more than they protect. Together, they should protect all, but the mangroves, individual people protect them, which you can't really do it by yourself single-handed. Do that much, not as much as the government can do.
Okay.
You should just implement the laws and make them work, not just write them down and not implement it.
What's lacking in conservation efforts? Where can we improve?
What's lacking in conservation effort is, like I said, implement the laws that are downlaid on the paper. Those are implemented down on the ground. That would help quite a lot. And we should plant trees every time you have a celebration of Eid, plant trees. Christmas, plant trees. Everybody plant a tree. Everybody would plant a tree 3 times, 4 times a year. Then we would have so many trees planted.
I like that idea very much. Whenever there's a celebration, instead of just thinking what you're going to eat or where you're going to travel, also think about trees. How many trees?
How many trees can I plant today together with my group? Yeah.
That's a really nice point. So what do you think, apart now from the lawmakers, what can each person individually do in their own small community or even at home to ensure that they are not making climate change worse?
I didn't hear that properly.
Oh, okay. I'm asking, what can each person do on a small scale in their own community or at their own homes? What can every person do to ensure that they are conserving the environment? Any tips you have?
I think I have answered that question earlier by everybody planting a tree when they have a birthday or a celebration. That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Then we celebrate. Maybe after 10 years, you have 10 trees planted, then you can count. Year 1, year 2, not like that. You are year 10, you have 20 trees, then you are year 20.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. So another question is, you can just answer me from maybe your own experience. How does tourism interact with conservation? How does each affect the other?
Tourism, actually, when you plant trees or when you do conservation, the scenery you see is beautiful. It's a green scenery.
Yes.
The natural shade that you are planting there. The breeze and what about the wildlife that you have planted the trees for? Habitat, wildlife, for birds, for animals. If we would go to Tsavo, maybe we should, every Mzungu that goes to Tsavo plant a tree, then we would have a lot of trees growing around. Some will grow, some will not grow. But then you never know, during a rain season like now, you might have a lot of greeneries in Tsavo and Amboseli. And please to sit down and have your coffee, have your soda.
Thank you. I think I'm done with the questions on conservation. What I would like to ask now is about your other projects on Robinson Island. I know there is a restaurant where I ate very big, can't remember the name, but it was seafood.
Very big crabs.
Yeah, and something else. Yeah, the prawns. Yeah. So
it was an orange one.
It was a what?
Orange in color. Was it orange in color?
And
not
pink,
the meat.
a bit pink, just pink.
The pink could be prawns. They are also orange when they are cooked. And the crabs also orange. Their colors are brown or white when they are not cooked. But when you put them in hot water, they turn in orange, bright, nice orange.
Okay. So
Yeah, the restaurant is still going on.
yeah. And
Yeah, but
you also, it's also a holiday spot. You have tourists coming.
yes, we had a lot of tourists coming and a lot of locals coming, local tourism. But now, because of COVID, there is no local, because our locals come from Nairobi. That's where the heavy dudes, the heavy pockets come from. And the tourism outside, international tourism is down completely.
Yeah.
If there is something which is been pulled down by COVID, it's the tourism industry. We are completely kabisa down. I wish somebody could come and give us a hand on this and that.
We hope
We
that
can keep up.
yeah. Let's hope that it will pick up after COVID. You had mentioned that you're doing some renovations.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are there. We are really ngumu. We are hardcore. We have seen Malindi and up and down and up, and we have gone down and up with it. And every time it came up, we were there. Every time it went down, we were there. So now it is really to the lowest and for a long time, and we really hope that this COVID will one day go away, Kabisa.
Yes, we hope so too. And I also noticed that you're now operating a college.
Yeah, like I told you, most of my kids actually migrated after the COVID-19, and I was left with quite a few. So I transferred the few I had to the next school because even there, most of them had left. So instead of both of us closing, I gave up my kids to, and I started thinking big again. Like when I used to tell my community that I would like to start a nursery school here, they thought, Mama is really thinking big. You want to start a nursery school here at the island? I said, yeah, I will. And I would like to do this and then sponsor, maybe go to college, maybe go to university. And they would really go, hey, Atad, yeah, I would love to see that Mama will give you a hand. And they would laugh behind my back. Mama can really dream big. But it happened. I started the school and I had them sponsored in a bigger primary school like Kingsway and other schools. And they failed being number 1, 2, 3, all of them. Most of them actually ended up with wings to fly. Equity, sponsored in secondary school, sponsored in university. And I have quite a few numbers of children in secondary school and university sponsored by the Southwark.
Yes.
So now thinking, when they finish their class 8 and they drop out of Form 4, I'd like to do something for them because I started a school. Now there's one on this side, one on the other side, and there's no need of competing. Let them do the school, one on this end, one on this end. Me in the middle, I would like to start a college for grown-up. College that would end up with as a university. And my dream will come true one day.
I'm sure it will. It will.
because I have all the facilities down on the ground.
Yeah.
The school which was there before, we can use it as a college.
Mm-hmm.
And all I need is the expertise who are around looking for jobs. And if we join hands, we can
Mm.
make it happen. We
I
can
wish
do
you,
it
I
anything.
wish you all the best with that. I'm all for education. I'm all for such small beginnings that grow up into something big. And I'm sure this will become big 5 years from now, to be something really to talk about.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your good wishes too.
So I don't have any more questions unless you have something you'd like to add.
Um, what would I add now? There I'm really looking now. What would I like? I would like us to plant a lot of trees as usual,
Yeah.
because this climate change is
Mm-hmm.
not a joke. We have to mitigate
Mm-hmm.
that climate change.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way we can do it is by planting trees,
Mm-hmm.
by taking care of our forests, by taking care of our mass and things like that, so that we don't end up desertification.
Mm.
What is it? Desertificating our globe
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dying of hunger and no water.
Mm.
That's my big advice I would give to all my friends, the community, and anybody who is going to hear this take.
Mm.
Let us plant as many trees as we can and stop cutting them down, because the rate we are cutting down the trees is
Mm-hmm.
not the rate we are planting.
Mm.
At the end, we shall be a desert, Sahara Desert.
That's scary to think about. But
Yeah.
I think we can end on that note. That's a very encouraging note, because that's something everyone can do. Seeds are available, seedlings
Exactly.
are everywhere. And once the lockdown is over, I am coming to plant mangroves.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Only you should come in April, May, June, because that is the seedling time.
And that's when,
After that, like now, we have a lot of seeds.
mm,
May, June, July, a little bit, end of the seed. But you can still come and we can plant trees. It doesn't have to be mangroves
okay.
only.
We can plant mangoes.
Yeah, we can plant mangoes this time. So next time you come, we eat them.
I like that. So thank you
Yeah.
very much, Mrs. Kai.
Thank
It's been lovely talking to you. We'll do this again.
Thank you very much for having me. Most of the time when I'm being interviewed and there is a lot of people around me,
Yeah.
I feel like I have been uprooted from my comfort zone. But today, it was easy and nice. It was like talking to a friend. It didn't feel like an interview.
I'm
So thanks
happy.
for having me on the interview.
Karibu sana.